Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Uttoxeter Racecourse here on Saturday. It is the 18th of March 2023. Gonna look at the featured fourth race, 3 o'clock from Uttoxeter. But before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kid 5 for more selections for race courses around the world. And join me next week for my Dubai World Cup preview from Maidan. But let's look at the fourth race, 3 o'clock. It's one of my favorite races of the year. It is the Midlands Grand National. It's a Class 1 Premier Handicap Chase going for $180,000 purse, race for 5-year-olds and upwards. Field of 18 horses going the distance of ground here of 4 miles and 1/4 over the chase course. My top selection, I'm going to go with the 5-horse French Paradox. I'm going to go 5-8 in your forecast exacta here. 5-8 forecast exacta. Top selection to 5-horse French Paradox, 8-year-old going by Dave Flight. Oliver Signy trains. Gavin Sheehan gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came 31st of January at Newcastle. Soft ground, 2 miles 7/8 in a Class 3 handicap chase. He won by 6.5 lengths that day, and he did everything right. He jumped well, he quickened up nicely, he stayed the trip well, and it looked like he had a lot of left in the tank that day. He's going to get the extra mile and a quarter basically from the last race, or a mile 3/8. Shouldn't be a problem. He should stay forever, and I think he get around the race course well and run a good race. Only carrying 153 pounds, which I think is going to be a good weight for this horse. Two back, he didn't run very well at Floss last. 22nd of December, very soft ground, 3 miles in a Class 3 handicap chase. He fell. What can you do as a 3-1 favorite? He just couldn't stay afloat that day. And then 23rd of November at Weatherby, 3 miles heavy ground, Class 4 handicap chase. Down the class ladder, first start of the season off the bench. He won by 3.25 lengths that day. He wasn't 100% crank that day, but he got to the front end. He didn't jump a few fences so clearly, but he got the job done. It was a good, utility kind of race there. And then prior to that, he ran the 4th of March last year at Doncaster, 3 miles in the Class 4 novice handicap chase, winning by 6 lengths that day. He could have probably won around another 5 times, won that easily. A very good race compared to the race before where he lost at Foss last, where he fell. Maybe he just doesn't like running at Foss last. His last 2 there, he just ran horrible races where he just fell. But refreshing here to the longer trip. At 8-1, I think he's a very likely winner. A horse to use in your quad pod would be the number 8 horse here, Gatapan Collinges, 7-year-old going by Sadler Maker. Charlie Longston trains. John Joe O'Neill Jr. gets the mount. Most recently ran the horse locally here on the 11th of February. 3 miles on yielding ground in Class 2 handicap chase, where he won by length that day. He had to be used a lot, but he stayed the trip well. Coming back here off some decent runs. I think he can run that better race and improve. 2 back of Warwick, 14th of January, 3 miles 5/8 in a Class 1 Premier Handicap chase. He finished 4th by 13 lengths that day. He never weakened out of it, but he never quickened up either. He just, plodded along decently. He needed something more, but I didn't think it was a half bad race there. And then at Warwick on the 1st of November, 3 miles 3/16 in a Class 4 Handicap chase. Winning by 1/4 lengths. He stayed the trip well. He quickened up nicely. A very good race. He's another horse. If he gets a good clear trip, I think he could win. At 4-1, a definite use in your place or quad pod here. Most likely going to play the quad pod, so use him there. But to recap my selection for the fourth race now, the 3 o'clock from Uttoxeter, it's the Midlands Grand National. Let's take the 5-horse French Paradox as a top selection. Give kudos to the 8-horse Gatapan Collinges, 5-8 forecast exacta, using both in the quad pod. So good luck to all, and please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kid 5. Good luck, everybody.